Hey everyone, it's Paul.
Hey, Paul.
So Jack, are you going to chair for us tonight? I don't think I can hear Jack.
Now am I off mute?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yes, be happy to, Paul.
All right, great. Thanks, Jack.
Okay, welcome to the May 12th, 2021 School Building Committee meeting. The mayor has asked me to co-chair with him and to lead the proceedings, so I will do that. As always with our remote meetings, we need to have a roll call to establish the quorum. So go ahead, Jeremy.
All right, Dave,
Here.
Jason,
Here.
Lori, Jackie,
Here.
Jerry,
Here.
Kelly, Bill,
Here.
Terry,
Here.
Scott,
Here.
Ed, here, Mark, Rob, Steve, Mike, Andrew,
Here.
Gail.
And
Gail, I see you.
Kelly just came on.
All right, Kelly's here.
I'm here.
Great. And Jack
Yep.
and Mayor.
And
Yes.
All right.
So we have a quorum. Second order of business is to approve the minutes of April 14th, despite what it says on your agenda. Does anybody have any questions or comments on those minutes? Then the motion's in order, Jackie.
Move to approve.
Terry,
Second.
thank you. Jeremy,
Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed. Yes. Andrew,
Yes.
Gail. All right, Jack
yes.
and Mayor.
Yes.
It passes unanimously. Did we lose Gail?
Yes, she just texted me. She's having audio issues. She voted yes.
Okay, very good. Wonders of electronics. Okay, so we'll skip over the bills for now. And Steve Johnson,
Yes.
there you are.
Yep.
Steve, obviously, many of us had the opportunity to go on the tour today, but some of us did not. I have to say that the building is looking fabulous. There's still a whole lot of work to do to have it open for school in 15 months, but you're confident we can keep on this schedule, right?
100%. Yes.
Good. I mean, the fourth floor is really looking nice. It's really starting to look like a school.
Yeah. Yeah. The next few months, by the beginning of the fall, the exterior, the north side of the building will start to take shape too. But I'll share some recent pictures.
Go ahead.
Eventually. Sec. Here we go.
Very good.
Should be coming. There we go. So this is the view from the south side of the building. Some things that have changed since last month, I believe. We'll zoom in here. Some of the large rooftop air handling units have been set in place on all three roofs, actually. A, B, and C roof. So that's good news. That opens up a lot of work for us. We have started metal panel work on the south side of C here. It doesn't look like much now. They're putting in what's called Z-girts, which support the individual panels. So Z-girts and insulation will go on, and then we'll see the metal panels. They're running with the backup system first, and then they'll start to move very quickly with the panels. They're going to work the back side, the south side here, and then they'll wrap around to the north side. So hopefully next month we'll see some good pictures of the panel. Also new is a lot more down here. There's a lot more exterior block that was installed. This is the future automotive wing. And this is the outside of the auditorium. A lot of block work on the outside and inside here, which is new from last month. We'll buzz around. There's definitely some progress made along this section. This is the gym and then the locker room section. So a lot more exterior work, a lot more windows were installed. Some brick on the back side here and block work, and all this staging is additional brick work in progress currently. And then I believe this is everyone's favorite shot, the front of the building coming along nicely. This just continues to be a lot more curtain wall, a lot more glass and framing being installed, and a lot more storefront down here on the first level. So again, this will be curtain wall right here in the main entrance area, and then all these strips that you see here will eventually be metal panel. So they'll start from the south and they'll work their way around to the north here. And this is the area I was speaking about earlier that'll start to take shape this summer. There's a lot of underground structures that we still have to put in, but then there's some concrete work and some paving to create the new entrance loop here. So that'll start this summer. So hopefully by September, October range, this will look much neater and cleaner in combination of concrete and pavement. Then we'll jump in the inside. Again, fourth floor is the furthest along. This is, again, the mock-up or one of the early lab spaces. It's got the lab casework, ceiling grid, and then we've installed marker boards as well to get a feel for those and make sure those are exactly how everyone envisioned. This is the corridor on the fourth floor. So we've got some of the accent paint being applied, and then this is tile halfway up that runs along a majority of the corridor. The railings are starting to go in on these connecting stairs that go from 4 down to 3. And this is a shot, again, this is more tile. This is the future bathroom space. I know that's not very exciting, but it's exciting to us because it opens up a lot of work to have all this framing done. There's a lot of plumbing going on in here. Then this is, again, a typical classroom further down. I believe this is in the A section. This is the view. Again, this is that small section of operable window that's in each classroom that'll be nice for the fresh air. A lot of the painting's done, ceiling grid. This is a shot of the auditorium. So if you're standing the lower section of the auditorium, this is the future stage here. So we've installed a lot of blocks since last month. So this room is starting to take shape here. We've got a block on almost all sides of the auditorium now. So you really get a good feel for how this space is going to look. We are prepping this slab. It does slope down here. This is intentional here. So that'll be placed in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be good to show for next month. And then we just continue, we basically are all over the building now. This is a first floor future marketplace area right on inside of A. I believe this is a future restaurant area. And this is looking back towards the middle of the building where The graphic arts and the cosmetology will be.
And the bank.
In the bank, yes. This is a shot of the future automotive. Again, a lot more block work here. So this is another spot that's starting to take shape. This is the view looking back towards the auditorium. Get a feel for how far away it is. Then this is just a shot of the interconnecting stair, another interconnecting stairs that goes from third floor to fourth floor, and the railings that are in progress here. I think this is a shot of the future weight room area or fitness center area above. This is looking down on the gym. So this is the second floor looking down to the first floor of the gym area. And then that's pretty much it for major changes. And then there's nothing to show on the field. The field is being used heavily, which is nice to see. Looked like there's a softball game there tonight when we left. Everyone seems to be enjoying that. And we've got some small punch list items regarding fencing that we're handling hopefully this week there. And then other than that, we're good to go. So unless anyone has questions on schedule of the building.
You mentioned before in the shot we're looking at that there's going to be some pavement by the fall. As I understand it, that pavement will be just base course. That final paving will not take place for quite some time, correct?
Right. The intent is it'll be all binder until we are complete with all parking lots, which means there's some parking, future parking that is actually under the existing school. So not until we demo the existing school and complete the fields and complete the parking that's over on the east side of our new building here, we'll have all the parking lots bindered, and then all at once we will pave everything with one fresh coat in 2023, so that it all kind of starts at the same line in the sand, same wearing, same use. So it'll look beat up maybe for a little bit, including Rathman Willard in the rotary, but then we'll put that final coat on, and it'll be good to go.
At the end of the tour, I was talking with Superintendent Sawyer and Assistant Superintendent Reagan, and it seems hard to believe, but they're planning on moving into their new quarters in a year, and we're planning on having use of the athletic facilities in a year also. Is that correct?
It would be a year in June. So we're scheduled for occupancy June 16th of 2022. That's when we would be TCO, and then full move-in would begin.
Amazing. Anybody have any questions for Steve? Okay, hearing none, then I guess we can move on to the financial part of things, Steve.
Sure. So we will start with, we have change order number 8 that we are seeking approval of. So I will buzz through the GCRs that are associated with this as quick as possible. GCR 56, storefront head attachment revisions. So this was there's some differences between the structural drawings and the architectural drawings. So we had to add some strapping at the storefront in certain locations. That is $8,907.53. GCR 061, revised door hardware at the classrooms. And that ended up in a credit of $7,017.01. GCR 63, classroom A417 revisions. We just basically swapped the teaching wall from the east to the west. That is $17,032.11. GCR 065, miscellaneous ceiling revisions per coordination. So this is just mechanical coordination, mostly on 2 West, just in order to get everything to fit. Working with Craig, we changed some ceilings and added what's called some axiom trim in some locations. That is $13,499.38. GCR 066, automotive pass-through window revision. This was a change in lieu of a slider based on some programming. That ended up at $6,249.81. GCR 68, book drop at Media Center. So this was a request to add a book drop from the school. That was $5,041.45. And then lastly, GCR 70, gas vent at Culinary Classroom. This was a code issue that needed to be vented out to the side of the building. That was $4,470.98. Total $48,184.25 that we are seeking approval of for GCO number 8.
And these are all items for the record that we have discussed previously. These are just the finalized numbers for those items, correct?
Yes, these have been fully vetted by Consigli, KBA, and Skanska.
And Mary Ann, correct?
That is correct.
And Craig, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, he's on mute. That's correct.
Okay, thank you. So we need a motion then to approve change order 8.
Jack, we have one. Jack, we have a contingency item. Should I go through that quickly, and can we vote on both of them at the same time?
I would say the fewer roll call votes we have to take, the better.
I know what I was hoping for. Okay. So it's GCT 022. It is for expansion loop on the first floor. So this was a change between the specs and the drawings, and it just wasn't captured during buyout. So that's an add of $9,745 out of the contingency.
Okay, and so that does not show up as part of change order number 8? That's
correct. It
a
is
charge.
not. It is not an increase to the GMP. It just comes out of the contingency budget that was already in the GMP.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on any of the items Steve has just gone over? So we need a motion to approve change order 8 and contingency transfer 22.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Jeremy?
All right, Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes.
It passes unanimously. Okay, Steve, are there any new items then on the change logs that you need to brief us on?
Yes, we do have a handful of GCRs that we're reviewing right now currently for merit. Starting at number 67. So this is the shooter detection system added into the building. KBA is working with the vendor on this one, and we'll be reaching out for final pricing from the subcontractor.
Yeah, let's just be clear on that. The shooter detection is something that the city is providing separately, but we are providing the infrastructure,
That's the infrastructure.
the
Correct.
wiring and things that are needed in order to install it, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Item 69, electrical revisions at the copy center. So this is again an FF&E programming item coming from the school. We're reviewing that with the electrical subcontractor. Item 71, athletic field scoreboard revisions. This is again something from the school that we're reviewing and reaching out for pricing.
Let me just jump in there quickly, Steve, before I forget.
Yep.
There is going to be signage on those scoreboards, correct, Bill Runey?
That's our plan. Yep.
And so I consulted with with Gary Arazian, the planning director, and he's told me what I already knew, but I was hoping I didn't know, which is that we are going to need a special permit from the zoning board for that signage. So we are going to need to put together an application to the zoning board once we have some details on how big the signage will be, how many letters, what the square footage will be of those letters, some elevations of what the signs will look like. And as that signage may change over time, we won't be married to any particular sponsor, but we will need a special permit to have those signs on the scoreboard. So I know that KBA and Skanska, as well as Consigli, will help us put together that package. And I'll spearhead getting the filing together for the zoning board and take care of that. So just a preview, folks. So go ahead, Steve.
Yep. Item 72, BMS integration with water heaters. So this is the building management system, added some alarms associated with the water heaters. And then item 74, operable partition steel revisions. This is 2 of the operable partitions, might need some additional steel support. And then item 75, electrical and mechanical revisions at IDF and offices. These were some FF&E and programming items that came up in KBA's review with the school. And then,
Those operable partitions, those are for the collaborative teaching areas. I think
yes,
there's one of them in each of the 4 houses, correct?
correct.
Okay.
And then there's 2 contingency items that we're chasing and vetting out as well. GCT 020, sink at ACA and network classroom. It was specified as epoxy, but it's going to be a stainless steel item that was just unbought between our epoxy sub and our plumber. So we're vetting that pricing out currently. And then GCT 021, temporary water usage overrun. It's something we put a budget in for on every job, and we're going to be exceeding the budget on this one, mostly due to the temp water that we're using for dust control. So we think it's a good reason to be a little bit over budget on this one, but it would be coming out of contingency.
And that money will get paid to the city to the water department, correct?
Correctly. Yep. We already we got our first bill of a little over $7,400 that we made payment already to the water department.
So that will make Jeremy and Courtney smile.
Yeah, and the reason it was $7,400 is just there was 2 meters that had been working for a little bit over a year and a half. So we finally caught up and had the meters read, and were able to come up with the dollar amount. So moving forward, it will not be $7,500 every bill.
Okay, good. Does anybody have any questions on those items for Steve? Okay, moving along. Bill, do you want to update us on the Drummond Street temporary fencing? You still with us, Bill?
Yeah, just had to get unmuted there. Sorry about that. Yeah, the Drummond Street temporary fencing came in, and just in time for us to have our first home games for both varsity softball and varsity baseball. Was really cool. One of our seniors had the first home run on the baseball field, and then one of our juniors had the first home run on the softball field. So it's worked out really well. One of the things that we discussed today about the Drummond fields is that there are some visiting fans that are mistakenly coming onto the construction site. So I worked with the athletic director, the baseball coach, and the softball coach to get out some messaging to try to avoid that as much as possible.
Okay.
Thank you, Bill.
And while we're talking about that, Craig, do you want to brief everybody on the foul balls into the parking lot situation?
Sure, yes. It was brought to our attention of a concern from administration at Brennan about the potential of balls flying into their parking lot. So we've been reviewing the solutions with our landscape and making sure we're providing the most responsible solution to protect those cars. And we're still working on what the extent of that is currently, but once we have, we'll be submitting a document to to Consigli to address that concern. And I'll kind of roll into the storage right now, if that's okay with you, Jack.
Please.
Another item that's come up as we're working on the fields and closing everything out is, and it goes into as well when the new athletic complex is built, is storage for outdoor equipment. And so one thing we've looked at is the possibility of what they call relocatable storage containers, which are, for lack of a better way to put it, nice sheds. But it allows lockable, secure storage of the school equipment that would be outdoors in the elements normally, such as soccer goals or the jugs machine, all the baseball equipment. And so we've been working to explore how many would be needed and what size in various locations on the site. And just to kind of have a better understanding and understand what the value would be to that, so that it can be further evaluated later in the project, is whether it's a fiscally responsible solution as we get near the end of the project.
And then storage for Jason.
Yeah, and this kind of ties in with also facilities that asked us that currently have a shed over near the VOTEC area that they store everything in. And so they've asked us to look into a solution to be able to store their equipment in the new building. And we're looking at, wouldn't be in the new building, just from the type of vehicles being stored, from gasoline, et cetera. So it would be a outside located building, and what we're exploring different solutions for that, again, to make sure we understand what's the most fiscally responsible short-term and long-term. These items aren't, I wouldn't say they're pressing, but we're looking at them now because a lot of what we're talking about, other than the Drummond Street fields, wouldn't occur until about a year from now, when they would be placed where the existing high school is located now.
But, in terms of watching our budget and planning ahead,
Right.
It's a good idea.
Exactly.
To
So
figure
that's
this
why
out.
we're exploring things now, but they would be just to understand, to make responsible decisions throughout the project.
Okay. Steve, do you have anything further that you want to add tonight?
No, I'm good, Jack.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions for Steve? I see everyone shaking their head no. So next, Joe, do you want to talk about the change that we need to the KBA contract for closing out the Conservation Commission order of conditions?
Sure. It's actually not really a change to the contract. We have to provide the CONSCOM with a certificate of compliance as a closeout document for their record for the now called Drummond Fields. This would require, I'm just reading off the information that Jeremy included. This would include a site visit and review of the as-built plan, preparation and submission of a color overlay for a record plan, providing a letter with a narrative, which will list each condition and how the conditions were met. Those are the order conditions from the CONSCOM for the original permitting, and then request in writing that a certificate of compliance be issued. Most of this work will all be done by our civil engineering consultant through KBA. And for these services, we would be charging a total of $4,675, which is $4,250 from Semiotis plus our 10% markup. This doesn't actually add to our contract, as it'd be billed under our other basic services line item, which is basically an allowance that we are using when we anticipated having certain things that would come up during the course of construction that we would need to do as an ad service, hiring different kinds of consultants and things that weren't done when we did the original contract way back after the schematic design phase was completed. And so this would be done right away. It would actually close out all of the information that we need to get to Conscom for the Drummond Street fields.
And just again, so everyone in the audience knows, when you get a permit from the Conservation Commission, at the end, you have to certify to them that you've done the work in accordance with the order. Of course, the conservation agent checks it during construction and checks it at the end, but the burden's on the project to go forward and do that. And it's not just for this project, it's for every applicant who receives an order of conditions from the Conservation Commission. The commission then will vote to issue a certificate of compliance, which we record in the Registry of Deeds, and that will close out that order. And I will, again, make sure that that paperwork gets filed and that anything the Conservation Commission needs will take place. So, Joe, do we need to vote then to approve this additional spending from your contract?
I don't recall in past versions when we've done this, if we've had to have a vote. And Jeanette, do you recall?
That we had a vote because we already have the money allocated, you know, in that other basic services.
Right.
But it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah,
Doesn't hurt.
I think for record, it might be a good idea.
Yeah, doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and you know that if we don't take a vote, Deb Gould will ask us to take a vote, so.
That's correct.
Yeah, so good to do it, yes.
Yes, so we love you, Deb. That wasn't meant to be pejorative. So then I guess a motion is in order to approve this additional expenditure by KBA.
So moved.
Second,
Any discussion? Jeremy?
Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Kelly,
yes.
Bill,
Yeah.
Terry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed. Yes. Mark,
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Before we leave this part of the agenda, I forgot to ask Bill, do we, I thought we had passed a not to exceed $15,000 on the field fencing for Drummond Street. Do we have an actual number to substitute, or is that something that we would be doing next month?
I can have that for you for next month.
Okay, and then we can amend our vote to the actual amount expended. Thank you. All right, Craig or Joe, do you have anything further for us?
I do not.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then Mary Ann and Anjanette.
I believe, Anjanette, you were going to review some of the invoices or not?
Yeah. Can you see my screen? Let's see. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, now we can.
Okay. So for the month of April, Skanska's invoice was $121,205. Castle Booze billed $109,085. Contigli's invoice was $5,738,756 with additional billings for change orders, which totals $5,745,052.61. There were also,
Anjanette, can I stop you right there? Because our agenda has a number of 549. Could you give us the revised number, please? It was 5,745,000.
that's that is the total value. Yes, 5,745,052.61. The amount, yep, the amount certified is 5,459,770.01, and that is that includes the retainage being withheld from the payments. Is
Oh, okay.
Well,
So
that's
the
why
diff-
it's a little bit different. Sure. Yep.
the difference is a couple $100,000 in retainage.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So the city had a couple of invoices for material testing. And I didn't capture all of them. I think Jeremy had received a few after I put this together, but we do have $2,560 billed for the city. And then the grand total for all the invoices is then the $5,977,903.27 less the retainages.
Okay. I forgot to ask Steve, but I'll ask you now. We are on time, correct?
Correct.
And Jeanette, we are on budget?
We are on budget. We're billed out to 48% after April of 2021.
Excellent. Does anybody have any questions on these numbers? Okay, anybody have any questions on the bills? And you're, as usual, sending this budget update to Jeremy so he can post it on the city's website, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. Then it looks like we need to take a vote to approve the bills. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Jeremy?
Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed. Yes. Mark,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes?
and Mayor.
Yes.
All right, before we talk about next meeting dates, is there anything else anyone wants to bring up? Hearing none, our next meeting is June 9th. And looking at my calendar, it looks like the second Wednesday in July is July 14th. Does that work for the group? I'm seeing head shaking yes. So July 14th will be our second next meeting. And then I suppose that a motion to adjourn at 6:07 would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
Jeremy?
Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed. Yes. Mark,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes,
and Mayor.
Yes.
we are adjourned. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you so much.